going on YouTube? Try to get that picture better. See if everybody can hear me. See if everybody checks in. We're northbound out of the center of confusion. Hopefully everybody's having a good day in their lockdown status. Or not. See who's... Hey, what's up, Rooster? Can you hear me? Am I out of what? I'm out and about, if that makes sense. What's up, Rob? Angel R, you got me 5x5? Okay, we'll see how long the signal holds out. So I'm just leaving Vegas, doing the business. Been really busy, but Vegas is a ghost town. It's pretty pretty shocking, I think, how vacant Vegas is right now. I came down yesterday. I had a reservation. By the time I got to Vegas, I show up. They're like, "Oh, no new check-ins." They had shut down that quick. I guess they put up the order yesterday afternoon while I was driving. And sleeping in the vehicle does not ever become fun. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, Vegas was just vacant. I mean, the casinos, while not totally dark, were very subdued. The main strip and everything, not hardly anybody. I mean, really, I don't know if it's ever been that vacant. Just surreal in a lot of ways. But so the virus keeps taking the blame for all the stuff that's going on, which is kind of funny in my mind. But let's see, we've got a lot of people checking in. Thanks for being here. Rob Painless, what's going on, Rob? Alicia, what's up, Alicia? Yeah, you got a little shaking awake this morning, huh, Alicia? I saw somebody, I guess, posted that the University of Utah is saying there could be a 9-0 coming your way, which is just bizarre. Hey, Tony, what's up? Yeah, Tony, your town is done, man. I don't know how Vegas recovers from this. I don't know how they can go 30 days and rebuild and restart everything. I don't know how that's going to work for Vegas. That's just going to be an economic sledgehammer to the whole state, really. I don't know if Nevada, it's going to be 07 times 10 at least. Nevada can't take a hit like this for a month. There's no way. So that's going to be interesting to see how that plays out economic-wise. We'll see how we continue to move forward. You were awakened outside, Alicia? Well, you don't really feel it if you're outside, did you? Or did you hear it? Or like usually when you're outside, it's like it just kind of goes by. Yeah, Tony, you left just in time. Your timing was impeccable. Impeccable timing, Tony. I don't know if you can time that any better to get out of here. Hey, Tyler, what's going on? So who else is under full lockdown statewide? When I was leaving, I was trying something to eat. I was trying to find a restroom. Nothing was open. Everybody had their main lobbies closed. You can't go inside anywhere. Everything's done through the drive-through, or they're closed if it's a restaurant or something like that. I did see an anecdotal, so I made it to a drugstore, Vons out here. Found one of those and stopped in to grab something. Like shelves just empty everywhere. Obviously the toilet paper and a bunch of the medical stuff, but a lot of the food, they have a whole food section wiped out. It wasn't that bad up north when I left. I mean, there's some places that had toilet paper and stuff left, moved off the shelf, but like foodstuffs and everything else is also on the short list. But all the store hours everywhere of all the different, usually Vegas is like 24/7 on just about everything, right? Here today, it was like everything opens at 7 a.m., 8 a.m. Nothing's open overnight anymore. Just that quick, just in the span of like a week, everything gets shut down. But it's the virus, right? Hey, Stan Oaks, what's going on up north? Is the virus getting killed by the cold up there or what? I know in the cities, it wouldn't probably matter, but in the more remote areas, maybe the cold's helping keep it at bay. But really, what's going on? The economics, the economic collapse inbound, right? How is it is all over us. And everybody's like, oh, the virus, it'll clear up. Like full-on economic collapse. It's like right in front of us, and people are just kind of not worried about that when that's the real issue. The real issue is the economic collapse, right? Oil's down to like $24 almost. $24 a barrel. That's like 1988 price for a barrel of oil. Like we're gonna have gas shortages big time. Nobody is gonna fill the need for gas at that price. Gas shortages are gonna be severe. So I guess it's good nobody's doing anything for a month around here because you ain't gonna be able to get gas. Stop limit again today. I gotta look up. I didn't see the details, but it's gotta be close to 18. And I've been saying for a while, like, talk to me when we get down to 18 about a correction. And well, here we are, just wiping out years of malinvestment, years of fake money, and they want to dump more fake money into it. I think the latest number I saw was between all the shenanigans the Fed's pulling and all the QE and all the government money that they want to put into bailouts, which is essentially what's coming, it's like $5 trillion of digits they want to put out there on people's computers to inflate this market again. They want to inflate all these assets and all these companies because there's still room to go. We could still drop precipitously down to like 12,000 at this point because it's all fake, made up stuff anyway. It wasn't based on real value and real money. It was based upon the digits in the computer. Who knows what the bottom could be? You're getting a huge disconnect in the silver market because like paper silver on the market is like $11 and something now. Ain't nobody selling their silver for that unless they have to. People are dumping all their silver paper contracts because they have to get money to pay off other issues with their markets or with their speculation in the markets. But real silver is going still above 16. From everything I've seen, I haven't seen anybody selling in physical silver for less than $16, which I don't think there's any reason to. The real stuff coming out of the ground still costs a lot of money to produce. So that's a huge disconnect. And gas and oil is probably going to do the same thing. There's going to be a huge disconnect with oil price and oil delivery and gas production. And people will be wondering, why isn't gas going down? Well, it's manufactured for that price. Supply and demand. Everybody wonders why there's a toilet paper shortage. Because people aren't allowed to raise prices to meet demand. If stores could raise prices without being called gougers, there'd still be those toilet paper on the shelf. It's basic economics. But nobody wants to deal with that problem. But yeah, Vegas was just bizarre. Without people walking around on the strip in particular, the traffic was really light. Still lots of road construction, like people that work outdoors, road construction people, house builders, they were all still out and about, I saw. And there were still people driving around and doing business for whatever it is that they do, but like service businesses, your restaurants, your stores, all shut down. And all your grocery stores are on limited hours. Anybody provided any service like that, real limited hours, and really had cleaned out shelves. That was my observation. And I'm sure there's probably some more detailed ones out there. It'd be interesting to see if Lord Humongous, if he gets a video out about Vegas. He may have done one the last day or so. I haven't checked out, but to get a report like that firsthand, somebody more on the ground, to get more in detail would be interesting. But I'm not hanging around Vegas for that long to find out either. There's the test Mercury site we're driving by. On the way down here, like every little place you stop in Nevada, everybody's got signs up about the virus and about, you can't sit down to eat anywhere. It's takeout only. Even at little mom and pop shops, little side stands on the little small towns out here, it's all takeout. No sitting down anywhere anymore. Waiting for public bathrooms to shut down. That's gonna be bad. I gotta find me a place to use the restroom on the way back. But yeah, the effects are definitely real. Interesting to see what some over-the-road truckers might have to check out some over-the-road trucker channels and see what they're reporting as they go state to state and how much different it might be as they do that with the different shutdowns directed in all of them. Let's see what he's got checking in here. It's hard to see the screen. It's at the wrong angle here. Hey, Rooster, now I'm not getting no speeding ticket. I'm well within the range of legal limit. Oh, worried? I'm not worried. I just have no need to go that fast. Cascading failure, right, Stan? You gotta wonder once shortages become prominent, especially in fuel delivery. You talk about power outages and other cascading effects. It's going to be severe, and history is going to probably be written right now of the economic collapse caused by the virus, but really the virus just exposed what was imminent anyway. But those that will write history may not document it that way. Hey Wayne, what's up? You and Tyler had a good chat the other day. I enjoyed that. That was part of my driving. I was watching you guys chat away. Couldn't comment much, but that was some good stuff. Good discussion. Tyler had one again last night as I was shutting down. Is that Uman? Noble Savage, what's going on? Get some water here. I might cut in and out as we go through this canyon high ground here. We'll see. Dead Winter, what's going on? Yeah, you weren't crazy, right? All that prepping people were doing, we were like over the target. It takes years to get prepped for what's coming. And people wanted to call us crazy. Or paranoid. Paranoid, right? Paranoid that a central bank did this on a computer could possibly hurt your life in the future, right? That's paranoia. I just don't think we're days into this economic crisis. The pain that's coming is yet to be felt. I think that's the deer in the headlight look most people are going to be given. Train that's coming. There's going to be a lot of deer in the headlight looks with everything like that that's going to be coming down. It's going to be painful. And those that have been going to the store every morning and lining up with these store closures and just trying to get in the grocery store every morning to get a little bit more, the ones that are way behind the power curve because they see the need to have a little bit more now, they're really going to be affected hard because they're going to be caught short on something critical that they didn't realize, and it's not going to be available. One thing I was looking for when I was in the store this morning was batteries, and I noted that the batteries weren't disappearing. I got a quick thing of batteries while I was on the road, just for my Bluetooth device, which was no big deal. But I have AA backups with me, not AAAs. So that was a mistake, but it's just a Bluetooth device, no big deal. Not an essential item. But just noted the store did have plenty of AA's and stuff like that at the time. So people were talking, though. People were talking, obviously everybody's talking about short sales being cleaned out. One thing everybody's kind of noting, the guy at the, when I stopped and got breakfast, he was just like, you go to the store, it's crazy. And he's like, yeah, all the food's gone, but there's plenty of liquor and alcohol. It's kind of the opposite of usual. Reality check for people. They're having to prioritize, obviously, and they're buying the important things finally. And people are letting the alcohol and those luxury items go by. They're sitting on the shelf, and the critical food and everything else is getting swooped up. And everybody's noticing. Everybody is definitely noticing. Yeah, you got to your daily apocalypse, Wayne. It's all good. Definitely interested to see what's going on in California. eBay selling toilet paper for $120 a pack. On bid. Hey, what's up, Canuck? Waking up, right? How's it going up there? You understand? Holding it down. Booze and bullets are going to be valuable, says Dead Winter. Yeah. I don't know what the ammo shelves are looking like. I know those videos and pictures out of California where there were lines out the door at certain gun stores last week when a lot of this stuff kicked off. A lot of these closures and shutdowns. People were lining up at the gun store. It's another case of prepping a little bit too late. You might be able to, you might get lucky, but why wait till the last minute like that? If you know you're going to need something in a crisis, why wait? I don't understand. Obviously, they had it click. Have they never even thought about what could happen in a crisis that they would need to have those items, and they wait until it's too late? And really, they pay too much and only get the bare minimum, not really get what they need potentially. You know, they're only able to buy what they really can get. They're not able to buy what they want. And if you do it before the crisis, you're able to buy what you want. You know, that's the real deal. SG Ammo is not taking new orders. It's becoming like silver dealers, huh? All the silver dealers are on 10-day backlogs online. Went to the LCS. I meant to do a report on it, but just been busy, right? Went to the local coin shop, a couple of them, and they're in Carson. Went to a new one that I'd never been to. But one of my coin shops is closed down. I found out from like most of them, and one of the family members has a compromised immune issue, so they just shut down. They're not even doing business. So that was interesting. Couldn't go there to get. I've been kind of leaning towards getting them a lot lately, but they've been shut down and wasn't even able to go there. I went to one place and they didn't have really anything. I went to like the main Bitcoin shop in town, and they weren't cleaned out, but they were running low on a lot of silver rounds. They had some silver bars that they put out, it looked like. But I got some Constitutional, and that was going for, at the time, over the weekend, spot was like 14 something. And it was still, this for Constitutional silver, it came out to like 16 something per spot. So yeah, again, nobody's offering that super deal that I've seen yet on gold and silver. The divergence in the market and the real price is significant. Delaware Patriot checked in. All right. Delaware's been doing some good chats, rolling through this week and everything else last week. Irish USMC vet, what's up? Irish is doing good chats in the morning with Poison Stinger. That's been some good stuff. Talking about all kinds of things other than not only just the virus, but gardening, all kinds of good stuff. But yeah, my LCS store, to finish that up, So I got that on Saturday. As soon as the prices hit the floor on Monday morning, my buddy went to the store and swooped up a bunch of the silver bars, the 1 ounce bars they had. He swooped that stuff up. He basically got it for that same price, like 16 something per ounce is what he got the bars for. So they didn't really lower their price, but you knew it's going to disappear. So if you can get it, because the physical stuff is going to be thin, because nobody's going to be selling unless they absolutely have to make some kind of payment. You know, they have to have the cash, an urgent matter. It's the only time somebody's going to sell their gold and silver right now. Obviously, gold's been high enough to where, you know, if you bought gold 2 years ago, you're still going to make out if you sell it now. So if you need to make cash, that's the stuff to sell, is if you got any gold set aside. But silver, well, I mean, who's not going to hold on to it? It's really the paper contracts that are the only thing selling and driving that price down. Lots of people checking in, lots of conversation out there. Hope everybody's enjoying the view, as usual. Don't have to worry about the coronavirus out here, hot and dry. No people. I mean, no corona, right? That's the good part about Nevada. It's sparse. Anybody got any good recommendations for videos or anything? I've been following the Twitter pretty heavily the last couple of days. Peter Schiff is hitting it out of the park on the Fed with this whole boondoggle. Just continuing to hammer home the point. All these debt solutions they're proposing are just going to cause more problems. They're not going to solve the problem. They're just keeping to throw more and more debt at this problem. And it's just going to cause, just like we had the problem in 08, we had this train coming at us. They're just going to cause a train to run over us again with all these debt solutions. But nobody wants to, you know, pay the piper appropriately. They want to try to slow the train down that's running over us so it hurts a little bit. You know, you can imagine, instead of the train hitting us at 100 and totally just annihilating us, the train's going to hit us at 25 and just slowly crush us to death. I guess would be one analogy, because the pain train is not going to be eliminated by the debt that they're throwing at this, and they continue to just put digits on the computer and just throw it at people. The airline industry, the cruise industry, all these different bailouts they're talking about. The government's going to give people $1,000 on their computer for them. You know, it's just going to cause more hyperinflation and more problems. It's like nobody learned anything from Weimar Germany. And really, you got to wait and wonder when's the ultimate solution coming out? When are they going to throw out the digital currency implementation and get rid of cash to really put this on lockdown? That's the big question. I ain't got enough momentum there, sir. Or do I? Okay, I guess I'll go. I got it. I guess. Get out of your way. But these store shelf shortages aren't going to, I mean, we're looking months and months of stores having limited stock, you know? Everybody, all the communists are out there saying, oh, look, empty store shelves. I guess capitalism can't do what it's expected, or something like that. A lot of people firing back, like, the reason there's shortages is because the stores can't charge a fair price. They get accused of price gouging. You know, so the communists are taking full advantage of the crisis. Not only with the central bank doing what it's doing, but the government's doing what they're doing, and taking control of industries and telling people what to do and telling businesses what to do. big government communist central planning is in full effect on all levels. Everybody's using the excuses given, and they're able to point that the federal government's doing this, so they make an excuse that they can get away with what they're getting away with. But it's just bad central planning, What Stan's talking about here. Forced vaccinations, right, Stan? Yeah, that's a big concern is, if they're willing to do this just for this disease spread, what are they going to do for when they get the vaccine, and how are they going to push that agenda, right? That's a huge question mark. Because you can see them saying, oh, it's mandatory if you work in any food service industry. Obviously, they're going to try to push something like that. If you work in nursing or healthcare, oh, you have to get this vaccine mandatory because it's so dangerous or whatever. Yeah, you can see them push. That's going to be the initial angle, at least. They'll push it where they can. Wins. Oh, a little spotty here. We'll see if we can keep connection. But appreciate everybody joining in. I've been absent, and there's been so much going on. And the economic just drop precipitously has just been watching it in awe as it's played out. I mean, almost like everybody predicted, right? Like, it's coming. Oh, here it is. And to watch it is like surreal. And it's like you don't know how it's going to play out in the end. Like, fear of the unknown is still there. And I think that's a lot of the people's cognitive dissonance is still kicked in. They don't know what to expect. They're trying to live as normal as possible still. Really, we're going to have to get through normal quickly. Really find where you can take advantage and profit may be the wrong word, but somehow just adapt and overcome and live prosperously as much as you can in this new normal, however it comes about, without getting sucked into debt, without, getting led astray by this debt train that they're driving, and without getting, get around as much of this government mandated stuff and continuing to live free, right? How do we do that? And finding those opportunities. Because every crash like this always presents opportunities, and anything we can do and you can do to find those and to benefit off of them is an advantage we need to take. If anybody wants to do a video on what those advantages are, I'm all ears, because I'm looking, but I'm not seeing them exactly yet to where I can take advantage of these issues. So that's just something I throw out there. Is definitely want to keep an eye out for what can be done to improve your lot in life through this rough time, moving forward. And it's going to take some getting used to. And it's going to involve some pain, I imagine, for all of us. And especially if you want to make a career change or something, just like in 07, 08, a lot of people make career changes. It takes some pain, moving or having to move careers or moving locations to do that. But hopefully it works out in the end. You can prosper on the back end. Something to think about, something to look into. See if anybody else is showing up that I've not given a shout out to or acknowledged. Fourth Dimension's in here. What's going on, Fourth Dimension? Ohio's been pretty much on lockdown too, hasn't it? They had a lot of cases out that way. I'm going to have to look at the numbers, but based on population, Nevada might have the most cases now per capita. I got to look it up. But there's a ton of cases, and considering we only got 3 million people, that's proportionally concerning. You don't want to be ahead of the game. You don't want to be in the lead on that category. And when we have proportionally more cases, that puts more strain on our healthcare resources and all the people like that, right? So that's something that I was just looking at, because the healthcare side's the big concern here. And a lot of, that's why you want to recommend all the business, changing of business practice, closing of business if you needed to, and restaurants doing their thing, and just staying away from people is to prevent sick people from going to the hospital and overwhelming it, and people that are in really critical shape. If it just once at a certain point, it just overwhelms the healthcare system. And Nevada's healthcare system is just, it lives on the fringe already. I think a lot of healthcare systems, even especially the big cities, live on the fringe already, just because it's so narrowly, there's not much profit in it because of all the regulations and everything, and all the insurance mandates and everything else. I wonder if the Alien Inn has got openings in the restroom and everything like that. That's Midwest Prepper's favorite location, or whatever. Midwest Guns, I guess I have to call him now. I can't remember his full channel name anymore, so I can't give him a proper shout out. We're not going to go to Death Valley, fortunately. Another hot, dry place though, with few people. No corona there. As you can see, there's still people out traveling. I'd imagine road tourism, this would be a good time to take road trips and just go camping out in the national forest or something like that. I think that would be real popular. Avoid human contact that way, And we'll see. I'll hold on here as long as we got service. I'm not sure if we have service much more north of here till Beatty. So thanks everybody again for joining. Thanks for checking in. Appreciate all of everybody's videos they've been doing and putting out over the last few weeks, tracking what's going on in their area. A lot of them just tell people to get ready for the bigger hammer, with this virus spreading, the bigger hammer that could be coming with, obviously the different lockdowns and the government implications that have been put in place, government mandates and stuff. People have been talking about a lot. That's been good. Who's that right there? Who just checked in? Gordon? Hey, welcome. I don't think I've recognized your channel. Thanks for checking in. Yeah, everything's closed in Vegas. That's why I'm leaving. Is that what you're talking about? All the beaches are closed. Where are you coming from? Who is that? Man, it's shaking too much. I can't see. Mitchell Gordon? You coming from a beach area? Yeah, I guess I saw a video this morning. Miami police getting physical with people, trying to get them off the beach. It's like, man, people are. It's one thing, I guess, to want to go to the beach when they've told you not to go. It's a whole other thing to get physical with somebody just because they're not following your exact order. The guys turned around and left, but then they still took this guy to the ground. It's just the police flexing their muscle, It's like they want to cause conflict instead of just trying to be polite. They understand that people are frustrated because either they're on vacation or they're locals and they got nothing else better to do. And okay, hey, yeah, you need to leave the beach. Hey, move along. Thank you, sir. Instead of being, like that, okay, they're just because somebody says the wrong thing or has the wrong attitude towards them, they still get physical with them. It's a sign of things to come. Just like those police in Paris throwing down with the protesters there who are, and whatnot. In a lot of respects, it just seems like they're flexing their muscles in some of those instances. Well, I'm missing a lot of chat. You guys are Florida's closed. All right, Nevada's closed. Florida's closed. I guess Ohio's closed. New York's closed. Hey, Poison Stinger, what's up? Yeah, we were talking about silver a little bit earlier. I'm sorry, I just haven't had time to do a video. You were asking about silver the other day. Yeah, really, there was a real good interview. Salivate Metal is a channel on YouTube. He had a online bullion dealer call him up on his live chat yesterday, and they kind of discussed all the issues with the dealers are having and how the premiums are working and why. I mean, you're not going to get physical silver, you know, at a little bit over what the spot price is now, and it's just unrealistic to think so, and that's why you're seeing shortages, and that's why you're still seeing the high premiums for the online orders and stuff. I mean, it'll take weeks of this price for any dealer to be able to buy bullion at a price where they can offer it back to like a reasonable amount over spot, right? They were talking about that on the video, and they were talking about some of the online bullion dealers, their process, how they offer products, how they get products. It was a really good interview. It was like an hour long talking to this guy about not only the current shortages, but just regular business practices. But when things go haywire like this, like, well, you run out of silver at some point, and to source more silver, prices, you know, it's supply and demand. When demand goes up, in reality, price goes up. And in the reality, physical silver demand is just out the door. The U.S. Mint, you know, sold out of Eagles for the month. So it's going to take them a couple of weeks or whatever to get their Eagle production back online to meet that demand. But the paper price, which is getting sold to meet other demands in the market, because all these people, speculators, have positions in silver, but it's all on paper only, because paper contracts are like 7 times, 10 times as many paper contracts as there is actual silver above ground, right? So it's just fake. That's what's getting sold. There's nobody's going to the store and saying, I want to sell this at $11 an ounce. Unless they're just totally desperate for some other reason, whether to pay the rent or to pay their bookie or whatever. You know, it's just not a big part of the market. But yeah, that's a good interview, Stinger. If you had any more questions about silver, a Salivate Metal interview, and there's tons of videos out there talking about every day the silver market, gold, but most of it has to do right now with the disconnect of the paper price versus reality in the physical market. And gold's not quite as bad because gold isn't at like record lows, you know, 10-year, 12-year lows like silver is. Gold's not even back at the low it was last year, you know, it's no big deal. Silver is at historical disconnect, not only in the price spot, but the disconnect between the ratio between how many ounces of gold equal 1 ounce of, or how many 1 ounce of gold equals how many ounces of silver. It's over 100, and it's just like historical. It's just a historical precedent. And and everybody talks about how, while, you know, it's historic, and we all expect that ratio to drop down to some reasonable level, whether it's 50 to 1 or something that's, you know, in a historical norm, 30 to 1. Everybody expects it to snap back. But then the discussion too on yesterday on Sal's video was, well, what happens if it doesn't? What if it stays at these historical levels? What if this is the new normal? And that's what we just don't know. And it doesn't make sense, but it's possible that, you know, silver and gold can remain at 100 ounces of silver to 1 ounce of gold, which doesn't compute. It doesn't make physical sense. But when a paper market that's over leveraged continues to drive the bus, anything's possible. Braster 762, what's going on? Look for arrowheads out here? I don't know. I mean, I guess there's certain points, if you can find where where water was coming up back when the natives were out here, yeah. You can find some arrowheads, but you'd have to find certain spots. I mean, even the natives didn't travel a lot of places out here because it's just the desert. So you don't want to find those little oases out here. Like coming up to Beatty would be one of those places you could probably wander around with probably an encampment and stuff like that. Hey, CE, we were just talking about your shutdown in your city. I just left. It's bizarre how vacant Vegas is right now, but still yet somewhat busy. And I was driving through Vegas last week, and it was like, I was telling Christine last week, everybody in Summerlin seems to drive a black car, a black vehicle of some sort. It's like disproportionate how many black vehicles are in that part of town. It's like all the rich to-do people think that black is their status symbol. It's like I can afford to have a black car and have my AC on all the time. It doesn't make any sense. It's like it's bizarre how Vegas, certain parts of the town are sort of like that. But it was noticeably like black cars everywhere. And I was just commenting to her on the Twitter, like, what's up with people? Are they that stupid to realize how hot it gets in Vegas just because you live in the uppity part of town that it might not be smart to have a black vehicle? But yeah, Vegas, you can definitely see when you drive from one section to the other, the different demographics change. Even though you're not physically in a really different area. I guess it's kind of like LA probably, to some respects with that. $13.81 an ounce for sale, Stinger. Is that right? There's a sale for you. What's the delivery time? Like 10 days? Most people are putting like 10-day delays on stuff just because everybody's scooping up everything they can. And you got to figure at low prices like that, silver, just like gas and oil, is going to become a shortage because people can't mine silver at that price specifically. Now, some people can, as they mine gold, get the silver out. At the same time they're doing copper mining or something, they can separate the silver at that price. But your dominant silver mines are going to be slowing down production because it just doesn't make sense economically to produce at that demand level, at that price level at least, even though physical silver demand is out the window, is just over the top. Was that a question from me, CE? Did I notice how many drive almost new cars? Lots of subprime loans. Oh, you think so? You think there's probably an auto loan bubble out there? Yeah, there probably is. And it's only going to get worse because these bailouts continue to dump more money, right? Yeah, I would imagine that the Fed continuing to dump all this debt at people is just going to encourage more bad behavior. The president got out there yesterday and announced that whole $1,000 a head program. It's only going to cause more debt because people are going to over leverage themselves. If everybody that got their $1,000 paid off more debt with it, that would just put more stress on the system. That's a surefire way to cause the system to spin more out of control. Pay off their shenanigans, all these bailouts. If they just paid off debt with that stuff, we would continue to see a righting of the ship, which is not good for the banks. The banks would be painful. The banks would go under. The banks would go bankrupt, which they need to, and they need to be liquidated appropriately. But instead, all this debt's going to be dumped into them, and they're going to promote debt and push it out to corporations, and we the people are going to suffer with hyperinflation and other subprime loans and other bad programs that get people caught up in bad debts and everything else, and they take your real property from you when you get over leveraged, when they gave you nothing. They gave you digits on the computer to play with. It's a shame. That's where we're just repeating all the same mistakes of over the last more than 100 years of mistakes that central banking has caused and continue to compound them and make them worse. You know, it's just a sad state of affairs. And I'm missing a huge amount of good chats, I'm sure. Poison, if you had cash, you could buy it from Scottsdale Mint, right? That's always a good, very good, good producer. Really, just get it wherever you can, what you can. Just like food and ammo and water and everything else. Right now, get what you can when you can, because you don't know when you're going to be able to get it again. And you know, really, again, silver is my savings plan. So it's just about dollar cost averaging for me. I'm not in it to speculate. I'm not speculating on silver. I am saving there because obviously you can't trust your 401k or your IRA. And that's a huge thing right now. You want to really get frustrated, and I feel sorry for people who are in these 401k and IRA programs because they have mandatory contributions, right? Yeah, and your work might match it at some level, which seems great. But your mandatory contribution monthly, right? And that just gives the big banks and the big financial firms free money to play with while they profit off of it. These guys that are this market's getting crashed back, people that are losing their 401k values, a lot of people are never going to get, they're not going to get anything back. But these financial firms are continuing to see that monthly contribution that they can go over leverage with in the market to continue to try to profit off on it. They're not having to pony up any of their own cash as they use other people's money to try to provide leverage as they speculate in the market. And to be clear, I call anything in a stock market speculative. Just to be clear on my verbiage. Most investment people only call speculation in certain types of stocks. Long-term stocks, you know, your big corporations, your McDonald's, your Coke, most people don't call that speculation. I call that speculation. That's just me, because I think it's I call it all a casino. So just to be clear, my verbiage on speculation is different than others when it comes to getting in the stock market. But they just have that solid income coming from millions of people that contribute to their 401ks every month as a part of that program. And they're going to just continue to suck it up, and you know they'll profit from it this week, whether it's shorts or longs, or even though the market's dropping, they're still going to see some kind of profit, while your actual 401k account gets hammered. It'll take years to recover, and they talk about that dollar cost averaging into that 401k. You know, look, it never goes down. The stock market always goes up since 1900 or whatever graph they use to get people into there. That's why when I got out of my IRA in 2012, I did a video on that. Like, I'm done playing their game. People asking now, should I get out of my 401k or IRA? Well, obviously you're going to take the hit. You're going to have a loss. You know, losing 30% over the last 2 weeks, and that's going to be painful. But if you just eliminate your contributions now, put that money to work somewhere else for you, find another way to profit from it, or pay down something, or just to avoid their system, I think it's beneficial. We've been sucked into this idea that, and it's a rich man's game. You know, people that have the money to contribute can make out on it, but put money, $5,000 a year is not going to give you enough leverage. I don't believe, to beat inflation and everything else. With all the markets ups and downs and pops and bubbles, that's not going to be able to give you what you need into retirement. Not for the average Joe, I don't think, at least. And if you max out your contribution, that's just more leverage for them, when you get very little benefit off of that. When you could be doing so much more with that. You know, put $5,000 a year towards real estate. It's real, it's tangible, It's something you can use in the future or now. You can build on it. You can lease it out. You know, real property, real things is real things. Granted, you don't want to necessarily get into a big mortgage debt. That's not necessarily what you want to do, but it'd be better to if you could do it, to make a mandatory contribution to something like that that's real, than that paper stock market that just disappears overnight and you have nothing. If you buy a $100,000 piece of property and the supposed value of that drops, you know, in half because of real estate bust or whatever, you still have an acre of property. It's still real. It's still there. It can still be used. Whereas your 401k does nothing unless you cash it out. And it's, you know, money. The currency we are given is nothing until you put it towards something real. And I don't think we're taught that enough. We're taught that currency is a real thing when it's nothing until we turn it into something else. Whether it's food, whether it's real goods, you know, a vehicle, you know, real estate. Until you put it into one of those things, you're not able to realize the actual benefit of it. And that's why it's just currency. It's not a real thing. I guess that's about my fiscal investment strategy rant for the day. We haven't talked about that in a while on the channel, but it's obviously at a head. We're obviously at that point in history where we're paying the piper for all the financial misdeeds. We thought we paid hard in 08. The pain here is even greater, and who knows how far down we'll go on the markets and everywhere else. I imagine real estate will follow suit. The bubble has been reinflating for years, ever since like 14. That's been reinflated to push mortgage loans and everything else. So we'll see how that goes. And I think I'm going to lose you when you head into this canyon into Beatty. So I think I'll cut it off. I'll cut it off politely. It's been almost a good solid hour. I appreciate all the comments. If you had something that I missed that you really want to talk about, put it in the comment box once the video renders, and we can maybe do a video or talk about it later. I don't want to just leave everybody hanging if they had something they really wanted to put out there. But lots of good stuff in the side chat you guys commented up. As always, beneficial stuff. People are seeing a lot of things. Things are similar on each side of the country, but there's also unique experiences in everybody's communities too, and it's good to share that, because the economic situation here in Nevada could get dire pretty quick with all these service industries shutting down. I don't know if I'm a casino worker down here or in the area and my business shuts down for a month, I'm looking for other work elsewhere. I don't know how you survive. Most people can't survive a whole month without employment. Now, there's stories that say people are going to be, some people are still going to get paid by certain businesses in certain industries, but I don't know if that's full pay, partial pay, who knows? But who could do that forever, you know? Most businesses aren't running with much of a savings to where they can do that for very long. And they're leveraged on loans and everything else, just like everybody else. Yeah, right, Noble Savage, they're reconsolidating their grip. Indeed. Indeed. So yeah, thanks guys. Thanks for checking in. We'll be talking to you on the YouTubes all week and seeing your guys' videos. Appreciate all your videos. And thanks for checking in. And thanks for joining the channel. Thanks for the thumbs up. Thumbs up are free. Don't cost anything. Just like currency. Doesn't cost anything for the federal government, or doesn't cost anything for the Federal Reserve to produce currency, just like it doesn't cost anything for you to give a thumbs up. It's almost like they're not real. Actually, a thumbs up might be more valuable than a Federal Reserve note right now. So thanks guys, we'll talk to you later. Prep hard, live free.